Hi guys, welcome back to Rerun Podcast. Just want to say quickly, thanks for everyone subscribing to the channel. We've taken a bit of a break, but we're now back. We're really marching towards 200 subscribers, which we're very happy about. And today I'm joined by Chip, who's normally my co-host, but today is going to just be the guest.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
So for those of you who haven't listened to the previous podcasts, Chip is kind of a regular. And even when he's not involved in podcasts directly, he's always kind of giving input and helping me out, which is really cool. And we met through a group that founded this, really.
It's a good time. I'm pretty sure I just said, hey, I like your watch. And it was probably...
Yeah, we kind of we got added to the same group chat. Everyone in that group chat still talks. We're all really good friends.
And knowing Sam, I probably said, hey, nice watch to his tutor. That's probably what it was.
Probably at that point, yeah. That was probably the nicest thing I had.
You still have that, right?
Yeah, that's right. I'm not getting rid of it. Birthday watch. Yeah.
Birthday watch game.
I might put that on mesh. That's my new thing. I like mesh straps now.
Vintage tutor on mesh.
I've seen it done. It looks really good. I'll put a picture up if I can find one.
That's interesting.
I know. Seems to work. Yeah, well, I need to find a 19mm mesh, though, which might be annoying. But, you know, that's the way of it.
It is how it is.
Okay, so let's talk about... You were involved in our podcast about how to start collecting. You were on it, weren't you? Yeah, one of our first podcasts.
Yeah. And I said for me, I'm all about different movements from different people. So I guess I'm like a movement collector to an extent. Even though I end up having of the same base movement, but that doesn't matter at this point.
Is that your tag? Not tag. Is that your tag and your returner?
It's actually my Eterna and the Pharaoh. They're both an SW300 base.
Oh, okay. Is the tag ETA then?
And the tag is the ETA 2824. You can tell by the rotor and just the general layout of it.
So you know these things and I just don't.
You'll get there.
Cool.
I promise you.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll rub off the more we talk about it. So we mentioned your first watch before, but just kind of recap people who haven't or didn't listen to that podcast.
My first watch. I'll see if I can send a picture of it to Sam because I actually don't have a picture of it in my cloud, but I mean I'm sure I can Google it if I remember what it was. But it was a really big Invicta iForce. It was kind of it was left-handed, so like the Tudor Pelagos LHD where it has like the left-hand drive, the crown on the left-hand side of it. It was like that.
Yeah.
The lady that I bought it from was, oh yeah, it's a watch for golfing, and I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. And me not knowing anything about watches, so I was like, yo, this thing's left-handed, ain't that sick? And then it actually wasn't that bad of a watch in of itself. The price I paid for it, though, classic Invicta markup. It wasn't online. I mean, if I bought it for Amazon price, it would have been pretty good, but it was also 47 millimeters and 15 thick, 15 millimeters thick. Humongous.
Yeah, that's not a small piece.
No, it's not just, I look like an idiot because my wrists are pretty small, as you know.
What are yours? Are you 6.5 as well, or are you?
I'm 6.
Oh, you got really small wrists, yeah.
Yeah, you and me can both wear vintage stuff for 40 millimeter and below and make it look good, Yeah.
Yeah, there's one benefit,
but I had that watch, and then I was like, maybe I'll look at a Timex, and me not knowing how important Timex is in horology history, I just kind of blew it off, and then once I watched I think it was good old TGV, and watched a video of his about Timex, and I was like, oh, I can get a Timex which has more history than Invicta does right now, even though Invicta does have some history. And I bought an Easy Reader, which I still have upstairs. And then my neighbor,
nice.
for me mowing his lawn every day while he was deployed, he gave me a Seiko 5. What is it? SRP 605K2. Pretty big, 44 millimeters, but it was my first mechanical watch. Had the 4R36 in it. I was kind of like, oh, mechanical watchmaking. And then I think that's where my different movements in your collection thing started, was like, oh, I can have Seiko movement, and then Timex has I think like I guess a Chinese one, like if Seagull does quartz, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know really.
Maybe. And then the SKX that I modded, which obviously is not anywhere where it was when I first got it. A million times more accurate. Looks like a old Tudor sub. And then when I got
turned that around because it did kind of.
It ran like crap.
And then it was a failed mod for a while, and now it's come back pretty strong.
Yeah. Well, so like the aesthetic wise, the dial and the hands were awesome. I'll see if I can remember the guy who did that, and I'll send you his Instagram. And then the guy that did the movement regulation, his name was Jonathan Stevens. His Instagram is the Escapement Mods, and he regulated by himself my 436, and now it's a crisp 3 seconds a day slow.
Nice.
Pretty good. And then when I got to the States is when I dove really deep and spent all my money on watches.
Yeah, it does take up a lot of funds, to be fair. Right, let's get back to your... Because we met through Instagram, but when we say group chat, we mean Instagram group chat.
Yeah, the Instagram group chat.
Pull up your...
Wholesome Bros.
Yeah, that's the name of the group chat.
I should probably say what I'm wearing today.
Yeah, we should do that. Wristwatch check.
So I haven't worn this since I was back in Georgia. I'm actually wearing my Eterna Heritage 1948. I'll send a picture to Sam. Even though I'm wearing a t-shirt and khakis and cat socks, I think it goes kind of well for just being, relaxing at home. But it definitely, with the lugs, it definitely has a very dressy vibe to it.
Yeah, it's a really dressy piece, and but I mean, good on you if you can dress it down a bit and make it more casual.
Mm-hmm. It's nice. It's really, really pleasant to wear, which I think is, nice for someone who small wrists, and I'm kind of like, well, all these new watches are big. And I guess this isn't like super new because they've had it around for 3 or 4 years, but the grand scheme of things, a 3 or 4 year old watch isn't really that old at all.
Yeah. I'm just going through because I knew you when we got you to start your own watch Instagram. Do you know when your first post was?
When my first post was?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was probably back when I did my when I did my blog that I ran for a year.
I'm looking at it right now. December 22nd, 2018.
Was it a Timex? What was it?
No, it was your Seiko, I guess, before it was modded.
Oh yeah, it is the SKX 173.
I didn't even know it was a 173. I assumed it was a 007.
173.
Cool. Yeah,
it is. You don't see a lot of those.
No.
And there's my Zodiac Grand Rally, which I actually bought secondhand.
That's a cool piece.
And it was pretty neat. For a while, every day at like 11:57 p.m., it wouldn't switch over, so I had to get up and then change the time forward, but I didn't really care. And then one day it just fixed itself.
Huh. That's funny.
Also, that bracelet was awesome because you could adjust the length and everything without having to take it to a jeweler. If you're like me and don't know anything or use tools, it was just like a really intricate bracelet.
I didn't know you had that piece. That's pretty cool. Did you just sell it on and use the
funds?
I
sold it. I forgot who I sold it to. I hope he's doing well wherever you are, man. #blessed. I enjoyed it though. It was my first motorsport style watch. Very old.
It's very Hoya yeah.
Very much so.
But it's a cool piece. I didn't actually know you had
got that cushion case, which, as you know, I'm a humongous fan of.
Yeah. You should try Chronostop. They're really...
You mean your Chronostop?
I mean, you can buy it. It's kind of semi for sale. I want to sell it, and I also don't. I keep changing my mind.
See, that's how I feel about my Eterna. I know I got world's best deal on it.
Yeah.
But
it's a nice piece. Yeah.
It is. Every time I wear it, I'm like, no, I should not sell it. But when I'm not wearing it, I'm kind of like, maybe someone will wear it more. I think I'm gonna keep it though. In the long run, I think I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah, and I just remembered you posted 2 pictures of mine and gave me a little shout out. That's so cute.
Oh, did
In
I?
August 2019. Yeah, it was my. Remember that wrist shot of the cheetah that you really like?
Oh yeah, and then I tried to get you to write for me, and then my page was like locking me out. Remember that?
Yeah, I wrote an I wrote an article for you,
Yeah.
and that got me a different writing job for a while, which was really cool.
Even though I
'Cause
didn't do anything for you, I'm glad.
Yeah,
it's
well,
something-
I told everyone I was writing an article, and then the guy hit me up and gave me a job writing an article every week.
So when you are wealthy, you can thank me.
I mean, you got me into the writing game, I guess.
I
don't
do love
remember
writing.
what I wrote that article
think it's
about
fun.
for you.
It was about the Belova, the Super Seville that you had.
Oh, yeah, because I had a while back. I had a Belova Supersville I bought and flipped.
Which I always think those are super cool watches.
They're great watches. Yeah, I mean, not my style. The proportions are obviously great because they're just ripped straight from a 36mm Rolex. But just the gold and I don't know, it was too much for me.
Mhm.
But the guy who got it was really happy. So
I do want like that just classic all gold look on something, and I
Yeah.
feel like because I'm a watch guy like you, I'm like obligated to get the original Gangster 8836, but at the same time, Super Seville is pretty cool by itself.
They're pretty damn
following
cool.
behind it. Oh yeah.
I mean, I bought and sold that one, and then I also sourced another one for a guy. And because we sourced it, he gave me a budget, and I had to go around looking for one. And I
That's
managed
cool.
to get a collector to sell, and I really didn't think he was going to. And he sold for it was like $700. So it was like a top box, papers, mint condition, really nice. I was so proud when I sourced that watch. And I got commission from it, but I was mostly just really that was a damn good piece that I just sourced, and that guy's gonna be so happy, and he was. So yeah, I have it's not a watch for me, but I have really good associations with it, I guess.
Yeah, I get you. So what else, Sam? What's new? Well, I got a new car. As you guys,
you did get a new car.
It's awesome.
Yeah, we see that. We see it a lot. It's pretty great.
Yeah, I'll tell the people about it because I guarantee you, if you're a watch guy, you're probably also a car guy, just because
it's mechanical things.
Yeah, well, especially muscle car too. It's mechanical fun versus efficiency and boring quartz. Even though quartz isn't boring. Hashtag Grand Seiko.
We all like quartz quite a lot.
Or Rolex Oyster quartz. Yeah, we like quartz quite a bit.
Yeah.
We like a well done quartz, I should say.
Absolutely. I think that's a fair.
The FP Zorn quartz that they have. I forgot
I love that thing.
I forgot what the model's called. But it's cool as heck.
It's on the tip of my tongue. And you'll like that case shape, of course.
Is it cushion?
Yeah, it's like a... I will have to look it up.
So what's cushion? I'm all about that.
It's it's semi-cushion. Oh, elegant.
Oh yeah. Recovering Watchaholic. Recovering Watchaholic on Instagram. He has one and he wears it quite a bit, and he says it's a pretty good daily wearer.
I mean, they're really dressy, but they normally come on silicone, don't they? So
I'll see if I can find his.
They're so cool.
Anyway, yeah, my car, her name's Lucy. She's Go Mango Orange. Some people say it's red, but it's definitely orange because mangoes are orange. She's a Go Mango.
This is a known fact.
This is a known fact. Go Mango Dodge Challenger Scat Pack. I'll send Sam a quick copy and paste of what that name was, because that name does kind of sound like poop, even though the car is not poop at all. It's freaking great. I've been pretty responsible in it. I've not been speeding or anything.
Been a very good boy.
I've been a very good boy. Only, as some people say, quote unquote, only 500 horsepower. It's a great time. I love it. Don't ask me about gas mileage though. I'm going to talk about that.
And that's not relevant. It's fine.
I will say on the interstate or the highway or whatever you call yours, the
motorway.
62 motorway. Yeah, motorway 62. It's pretty good. There's definitely a road trip and drag strip queen, not a city goer queen. It's very makes a lot of noise in the city and takes up the entire road. Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
She's thick. All I gotta say.
Yeah, no, it's a cool car. What's your most recent watch purchase?
Ooh. Probably the Fairer.
Yes.
And
which
that
was
was
much anticipated.
Yes, because as the group chat knows, I love them a lot.
Yeah. It took a
They
while to
are-
persuade you to get one.
It took me a long time to get one, but I think since 2017, I've been eyeballing one, so it's been a long time.
Yeah.
And I finally got one, and I regret nothing whatsoever. And like I say, it's my favorite watch of all time. That's not really true, but in terms of like the grand scheme of things and like design and like their ideas and their philosophy and brands as a whole, they're probably up in my top 3 at least.
Yeah, and who'd you
I
get it
like-
from?
Oh, I got it from this guy who we call Ben. He's a serial watch flipper. He averages one watch flip every 3.6 seconds. Can you believe
It
that?
does feel like that. He's another member of our little group chat.
I mean, he's a smart man. He's a really smart guy, and he knows how to market himself and his watches. But I just give him so much crap because we'll have like a really nice watch for I don't know what 5 minutes, and then he'll sell it again.
We roast him so much. I'm gonna have to get him on the podcast to like defend himself.
Yes, please.
We like you,
I
Ben. Ben's great. His photography's amazing.
Well, he
But
takes. Did you see his pictures today of his watches in his watch case? Oh man,
No,
they look good. I'm gonna have to copy that because it looks
He's
really
got-
really nice.
he's got a pretty awesome style, which
He
I've
does.
recently been trying to kind of emulate, and he kind of taught me some tricks.
One, I'm
Um,
also surprised. First of all, I'm proud of him that he kept his Nomos because he's been like, I want a Nomos, kind of like how I want a Fairer. He kept the Nomos. Obviously, he kept the OP. And what else did he keep? So he has one more that he's kept for.
Would you say
Forever.
Nomos, OP?
There's
And
one
his
more. that
brew,
he-
his brew retrograph.
Oh
He's
yeah,
had that
his
for,
Blue
he's
Retrograph.
had that for a while.
Yeah, I think that's his favorite micro brand too. So if you're listening and you work for Brew, consider yourself blessed.
You should hire Moosey for all your
Yeah,
his Instagram's
hire
at
Ben.
Moosey Loop. Hire
Hire
Ben
Ben
for all
for
of
all your
your
pictures.
brand photos needs. He's super
Exactly.
talented.
Yeah, Ben, I think he had a copper one for a while, which, in my opinion, I think that is the best looking dial you can do as a copper or salmon.
Yeah, I don't know if you sold that one. Although you do say the Nomos is a keeper, but I think that one's under.
He was debating about getting the black one. But I
Yeah,
think
switching out for it was a
enough
black
people said that
California
there's-
dial.
Yeah, there's more color in the white with like the orange hand and everything.
I personally would go for the black, but that's just because I prefer the sleeker.
Yeah.
But I think they're both cool, and he's got such cool stuff.
You know who we haven't talked about with their great photos is Gabe.
I was gonna. I mean, I kind of want to do a podcast about watch photography, and I think Moosey, Gabe, and another guy who's not actually, he's not in our group chat. But he's really known to us. It's called Clay.
Is that Southpaw?
Yeah, how's it? Southpaw
15?
50. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I'll put his username on screen. Again, stupidly good photographer. I've actually said I want him on the podcast and asked him himself.
I'm looking at his pictures right now. Yeah, those
He's
look
another
really
brew
good.
guy. I think him and Moosey are both like brew.
Are they both serial watch flippers?
I don't think he is as much,
Interesting.
but I mean, we'll have to ask him. I'll get him on a. I think we're going to do more and more podcasts because there's only so many reviews I can do, and people have been enjoying the podcast, which is great.
That's good. Yeah. If you don't know everybody, Sam is a really good man. He's very smart. He's always sending us messages in the group chat at my time at like 4 a.m. So I have to get up and look what he says, and then I go back to sleep.
Do you actually do that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just put them in and I'm like, oh, they'll see that in the morning. It's okay.
I get up and I'm like, oh, what'd he say? Oh, cool. Go back to bed.
And they only think I'm clever because I'm British. So it's the assumption.
That is not true at all. I have no idea where you got that stereotype from. Should we talk about my collection and what I have and what I think about them?
Yeah, let's go over that. You've got some cool pieces, I think it's fair to say.
Interesting.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have you on.
Fair. So I don't have my box with me, but from memory, things that I have been handed. I have this really old vintage gold Citizen. It's very much Reverso or Cartier tank style. I'll send Sam a picture of it. My grandpa wore it for a while. That was his dress watch. The bracelet is mediocre because it really grabs my hair on my arm a lot, and I'm a hairy boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when I do wear it, it's pretty comfortable. It weighs, nothing. And it's one of those old quartz that was like 3 jewels even for a two-hander. So it's kind of like, it's a 70s era quartz. So it's a little bit over-engineered for what it is.
Yeah.
And it's
I
kind of nice.
I have a Seiko like that. I have a Seiko SQ. I think it is a 4-jewel quartz actually. Which I'm also thinking of selling, but.
And then I have the 40th anniversary Timex Easy Reader. I'll send Sam a picture of that. I'll wear that when I'm goofing around the house, or I actually wore it to when I went out for a social setting because I was like, I don't know anybody here. I'm not going to wear my nice watch because I'm not going to be a target. So I'll wear my $30 Timex and look just as good.
Yeah, to be fair, it's a good looking piece.
And as you know, Timexes tick super loud, but I don't really care about that. What else do I have? Oh, I have that manual wind Sheffield. I have a little manual wind Sheffield Ben sent me for my birthday. Love Ben. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Has that green NATO strap. It doesn't have a quick set date, so setting the date is super annoying on it. But usually what I'll do is I'll make a note on my calendar, and it's like, okay, today is the 8th of whatever the month it is. Wear the Sheffield today. And I'll wear it that day. Wind it up, wear it that day, and then next day, the 9th. Okay, I'll wear it the 9th of next month.
That's funny.
It is.
My chrono stop isn't quick set either, but I just basically catch it up to wherever I am and try to keep it wound. But
I'll send Sam a picture. I have the Tissot C-Star, which I tried to sell, but the person that I sold it to took it to a watchmaker, and him being a smart guy, he was like, yeah, somehow water got into the movement, so it's going to damage it. So, I gave the guy a refund, and I'm just going to wear it till it dies. It's pretty big, though. It's like 44 millimeters. It's a big dive watch.
It looks like a chunky piece, yeah.
Oh, it's huge. It's definitely a beater.
Pretty cool, to be fair. Not
it
something
is.
you kind of see every day.
It's very Yachtmaster 1-esque with the colors.
I can see that. Yeah, with the bezel.
And then in my normal watch box, I have a Filson Mackinac, who I also bought from Ben.
Did you actually? That's funny.
Oh, yeah. I was like, I want a Panda, but I'm not going to pay $6,000 for the new Breitling Premier, which looks really good, and I do want it in a few years, but right now, no.
Yeah.
So Ben gave me that.
You could get a vintage Hoya Panda.
I could. I like the there's like a very specific Hoya Carrera that I love. It's obviously a cushion case, but it's the one with the crown that's on like the 9 o'clock.
Oh, yeah. So the crown at 9 o'clock and the 2 pushes it. what, 2 and 5
I
or
think
whatever.
that thing looks amazing. But cheapest I've seen for one in good condition was like $3,000. So we'll wait a little bit for that.
Yeah, it's not.
I mean, it looks beautiful though. So
Oh, absolutely.
beauty over logic at that point. Then I have my trusty Citizen AT 4008-51E, which is kind of like my everyday watch because I can do anything with it. I can go to the shooting range and shoot a 12 gauge shotgun and it wears perfectly fine. Won't mess it up. No shock, whatever.
Yeah.
I use that for setting all my watches too. So like today for my Eterna, I set it up based off of the Citizen because it's atomic. So that helps a lot. Then we have 2 Tag Heuers. Tag Heuer Carrera Caliber 5, which, as we said, is an ETA 2824-2. Super robust. Very stiff to wind, though, I'll say. It's not chronometer grade, it's top grade, but it's very stiff to wind, which I think is quite interesting.
That is interesting.
And then I have the Tag Heuer Link Caliber 36, which is extremely comfortable. Pretty heavy for what it is, because it's a, stainless steel chronograph that has the Zenith El Primero 400B movement in it, which looks great. I love the different colored second and third wheel on it. I think it looks really good. It's a lot more skeletonized than like an ETA or something.
A lot more refined and more. I'll have to throw a picture of that up on screen because I bet it's really cool.
Yeah.
You have quite a kind of
varied.
Well, no, you have an educated relationship with Tag Heuer.
I do. It's just because I love motorsports, first of all. And so everyone's like, oh, Tag Heuer is like the motorsport brand. And of course, them getting a lot of, crap for the 90s or whatever, or like putting in like a base grade Ronda movement, which I like Ronda, but like putting in a base Ronda movement and then charging $900 for it is kind of questionable.
I mean, a base grade anything is kind of not a good idea.
Questionable. But in my opinion, if you're going for like the motorsport and the heritage aesthetic and you want something clean, then a Carrera is a pretty good bet.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
I do like the Formula One range, but there's something to be said about being able to see your movement. However, me saying that means I cannot ever get a Rolex because, except for one model,
you just put a custom. What model has a see-through case back? Is it a Cellini?
The Cellini Prince. Yeah, I think it's called the Prince, but it's like it's the tank case style, the rectangular one.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually that movement looks pretty good too. I think it's called the Prince. I'm probably wrong because I don't know my Rolexes all as well as some people in our group do.
Cellinis. I don't know Cellinis and I don't know much modern stuff, so
fair.
Yeah.
All I know is you want a Rolex date 1500.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm what's the word where you stare at something and you can't stop looking at it? I don't know. I'm like tunnel visioned towards that at the moment.
Tunnel vision towards the 1500.
Yeah, I think it's what I would. I mean, that or an Explorer. It just depends on when I decide to take the jump. But I've got a couple of pieces I need to sell first. So if anyone's interested, I've got a Tissot from 1944, got a Seiko SQ. I have an Omega Chronostop, which I kind of don't want to sell, but I will. Yeah.
Oh, and then of course I have my Eterna Heritage 1948 with the Salida SW 300-1, and then I have my Ferro Landerer 3 with the Salida SW 330. Do you know what makes the latest Ferro so special?
What?
The date wheel matches the color of the dial.
Oh, nice.
You can tell too.
It is clean.
It is. If you search Fairlander on Instagram and you see, honestly, a white bait window isn't bad at all. Like when it is included in the dial color, it's just a little bit more slick.
Yeah, this is what I said about in my Chronostop review, because the Chronostop has kind of a black grey dial that has a white date wheel.
Mm-hmm.
But firstly, the hands are white, and secondly, the date wheel's outlined in white. So it kind of all works and matches up aesthetically.
That makes sense.
So I don't hate when they don't match, but I think in the case of the Farah, it does look nice.
It would have been interesting if the date wheel itself was blue, but the numerals were burnt orange to contrast the one of the hands. I can't remember if it's the GMT hand or it's the second hand. I might have to go look.
It's both, isn't it?
I think one of them is red, isn't it? Oh, if the burnt orange contrasted the second hand. Actually, it makes sense for the GMT if it was red and the numerals were red like the GMT hand.
No, I think you should have 12 o'clock be red. Or even the 24 marker above 12 be red.
Yeah, 24 since the GMT. But I think...
Yeah, and I think the GMT font should be red. You know what I mean?
I get you. But I mean, it's still a really, really unique looking watch.
Oh yeah, they really do design well.
And whoever is their designer has to be in the Hall of Fame. Nobel Peace Prize for you.
It is a really good looking piece.
Because
not really homage to anything, which is nice.
No, because as I've told you all in the group chat, I love their designs, and not any one of them, in my opinion, is ugly.
I think I have to agree. I mean, I did done a few videos on micro brands, and I really enjoyed doing the research with Farah. It's really interesting stuff, and really
the colors they use.
Yeah, they stand out instantly. And I think they probably get a lot of real world compliments because, non-watch people notice colors and design the most. And you're not getting compliments because it looks like a Rolex, you're getting compliments because it looks unique, which is really cool.
Yeah, it looks pretty, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say my collection is a bit boring.
No, it's not. What are you talking about? It's different.
I mean, I've got black and champagne and white dials. You know what I mean?
See, until I got the Farah, my collection was white, eggshell, black, and anthracite.
Your tag does have quite a cool dial, though. Not color-wise.
Oh, the anthracite dial?
The effect on it is the texture is really cool.
And the texture and the effect, yeah. I don't know what you call that texture where it's like the rings of a tree.
That's the best way I could describe it. I can't know what you call that. Yeah, it's pretty spot on.
The rings of a tree.
Concentric circles? I don't know what
maybe
is that what concentric means?
That sounds the most educated.
That's just a guess. Concentric circles. I'm googling it. We're right, it's concentric circles. That's funny.
Tell us about your collection, Mr. Host.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like I need to sell something to get something to excite me again. Because right now, I'm very brand orientated. That's kind of how I collect. I've got my Tudor, which I love and is a keeper. I've got my Omega Chronostop, which is an awesome piece. Well, you'll like this. The movement from the Chronostop is derived from the Omega 321 caliber.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So it's like a simplified version, which is, I think, why it's such a pretty
movement. Cool. That's pretty neat.
And then I've got a few projects at the moment which need to be completed and then sold. I've got a Movado Sub-C, which I did post on Instagram.
You have a Sub-C?
Yeah. The it doesn't say Sub-C on the dial. It's a really early one. It's a Kingmatic.
Oh, I'm looking at it.
You're looking at it.
That's tough. I like that.
It's really clean, but it's so similar to my Tudor that, well, I don't know if it's not that similar, but it's like silver dial dress watch, and I feel like I've got that box pretty much ticked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a super clean example. I think what movement it is. It's 28 joules, which I'm sure is a good thing.
That's a lot for back
That
in
is
the
actually
day,
a lot
too.
from. But yeah, I need to get that serviced because it's kind of running at the moment, but it's very stop-start. I'm not very happy. And then I've actually got a kind of more long-term project because I need to find a crown for it by the Universal Geneve Railway watch,
Ooh.
which is a cushion case. Maybe
Yes.
that's what we should call this podcast.
All about cushion cases. Why cushion cases reign supreme.
Yeah, actually, I've owned a fair few, I guess.
And when you said subsea, I thought you had like a chronograph, and I was like,
No,
what?
it's a
That's
really
like
early
$5
one.
grand right there.
Yeah, no, I wish.
That's like 14. I've seen a really clean example of a subsea, which was like black and it had like the yellow second hand and then yellow font on it. Went for like 14 grand on Chrono 24.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it was dope looking. But it's also like weird thinking about how Movado used to be like different than what they are nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had a few vintage Movados. This is my second now. My first one was a solid gold piece, which is pretty cool. It was, I think, a 35mm case, but then the lug width was like 16 or something. So it wore very weirdly. And I ended up selling it to a guy in California who got it for his wife. So, had it for a while. I'm now looking at subseas on Google. Oh, and the cool thing about this one is it's actually on a vintage bracelet. I forget the brand. Oh, Tessuflex. So the bracelet is like Italian made and like really silky, like elasticated metal one. So it's like definitely a look. Like this style on this bracelet makes it very dressy. I think it's a pretty cool little watch and I can't wait to get it running. I'm definitely gonna, once it gets running, I'm gonna enjoy it for a bit. But
it looks really good.
Yeah, I don't think you'll really find one this nice, like condition-wise.
For a while, I think it's a Movado, but on Chrono 24, you know how you can like save particular watches?
Yeah, I do it all the time.
No, there was a Movado TV screen with a Zenith powered movement. I'll see if I can find it.
Huh.
Which I thought was the coolest thing of all time. Yeah. Ooh! It's sold, but I'll send you a picture of it. I think it looks super neat, but the price tag isn't super neat. But that's whatever you pay.
Yeah.
For something that vintage.
Movado's funny because they did so many like pretty boring dress watches, like just
and
thin
TV screen watches out of nowhere, and it's like what?
Yeah, and then they do the crazy, cool designs. I think I just saw something on a ladder bracelet, which is uber cool. It's probably a Guy Ferrer's bracelet or whatever it is. That's so cool. But yeah, they've had so many interesting designs, and I think they really do hands well on their vintage watches. So my subsea has very sharp. I don't think there's any loom on the watch tool. Yeah, there's no loom on the watch tool, but very, very sharp metal hands, pretty highly polished. And some of the chronographs have awesome hands. So I think if you're kind of into vintage, it's definitely a brand to look into. Much more so than their modern collection, I think.
Yeah, just a little bit. Unless you really, really, really like quartz, then their modern stuff is for you.
I mean, the museum watch is like a very classic design, but
It is.
I don't think it's.
I like quartz. There's like 4 or 5 watches that I want to get before I die. That are quartz. You know, Rolex Oyster Quartz Day Date, Grand Seiko 9F, Citizen Chronomaster. One of those, either JLC or IWC Mecha Quartz.
Yep.
Or
it's a good shout.
Citizen Chronomaster. I already said that. Psych.
Yeah,
I have Casio Oceanus too.
Is that a kinetic, or is it just a solar or something?
I think the Oceanus is a solar atomic, kind of like the Citizen is, but I think it's like 5 joules.
Oh, cool.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, I have a few jeweled quartz movements, as everyone knows. I have my CWC G10, which is our most popular video. I'm very proud of it. It's got like 2,000 views. I'm pretty proud of that. And I have my Seiko SQ, which I mentioned.
Oh, is it the one that you tried to sell me a long time ago, which I was like, yeah, I'll buy it, and then I backed out? Might have been it.
Oh, did you back out? I kind of tried to sell it for a bit, and then I just stuck it in a drawer. And now I've got it back out.
Yeah, I remember I was like, hey, I want to watch, and you're like, oh, you could buy my SQ, and I was like, let me think about it. And
I just do that for the meme now on the group chat. If anyone's like talks about a watch and I have anything that even vaguely matches the description, I send them a post of my watch and be like, you can buy this.
Well, I tell you what I did is I said I kind of want an everyday watch, and you're like, oh yeah, you can buy my how much were you asking for? Like $300, something like that?
No, not for the SQ. They're worth like 100 most. I'd let it go for less than that, but
yeah. You can buy my $155 Seiko SQ, and I was like, no. Let me go buy a $2,500 Tag Hoya instead.
Yeah, you probably did.
No, I did. That's exactly what I did. What you did. Let me go buy a Carrera that costs 12 times as much or so.
I mean, no regrets. It's a good piece.
No regrets whatsoever. All in all, buy yourself a muscle car and wear a good watch every day. That's how you live.
There you go, people. Advice from Chip. Thanks for coming on.
Advice from Chip. Unless you live in California or Europe, buy a muscle car.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for coming on, man. We will see you in probably another podcast very soon.
Now that we're all settled down from everything.
Yeah, I'll be back at uni soon, so I'll be able to record easily. And yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone, or listening, depending on what you're doing. We will try to get back to weekly content. But for now, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Comment your quartz watch that you like. There we go.
That's a good one.
It's call to action. That.
Comment your quartz grail that you want to get before you die. Your quartz grail. There you go.
I'm